Hello, my beautiful bookish friends, and welcome back to the channel. So today, you may recognize this setup because this was the end and intro of last week's vlog. I am sticking to my little project of reading one specific subgenre for the week. This week I am doing pirates, all pirate books, because I want to finish my reread and annotation of Fable. And I have a lot of pirate books on my shelves that I kind of bought all at once and never finished. So I want to get those off of my physical TBR into Compile and work on my reading goal. So it is Monday. I didn't read anything today, but I am going to check the library, see if they have any audiobooks that can help me get through my TBR a little faster and try and get at least 3 books this week. I want to try and get 3. Last week I did 2. I want to do 3 this week. So yeah, let's pick out the TBR and get started. Hello, it is Tuesday, and last night, I think I kind of explained to you guys, I was just picking out the books for the vlog, which you guys saw, but I wanted to talk about them a little bit today. So as I kind of prep my reading, my goal today is I do have to run into town to get some stuff and going with my mom. So I'm thinking right now, I finished one article for the day. I have another one, but I'll do that later this evening. But I want to start a new read. So I wanted to read to you guys like what the synopsis is for each of these books and kind of get into which one I'm vibing with. Fable, I am annotating, so I'm going to leave that for like my nighttime reading. And I think that that is going to be like, you know, because I'm physically reading it and annotating it along with the audiobook. So I can't have the TV on for that, obviously. Well, I can, but it's distracting. And right now I want to catch up on my shows, just kind of have like my Real Housewives playing in the background while I read. So let's look at Fable. We know is like a familial pirate thing. She's trying to escape this island that her dad left her on. To Kill a Kingdom, I picked out, and it says, I have a heart for a year, for every year I've been alive. And this is about a siren princess. She kills one of her own. Ocean is no place for a prince. So I think this is like a siren and a pirate story. So I'm not sure that I'm feeling like that kind of fairy tale thing right now, but this one is also a princess, a pirate, a stowaway, a mermaid, and the crew makes the queen. I know this is All the Stars and Teeth. I've had this one the longest. I feel like maybe this is kind of similar, like they have to fight for their place on the throne, but this one is definitely more piratey than others. Oh wow, this is a really pretty spine. I've never actually looked at the spine before. That's really pretty. I don't know that I'm 100% feeling that today either. So it looks like this is also a pirate and a prince. Okay, so apparently the vibe this week is pirates and royalty coming together. This one is in deeper waters, and this is like a coming of age LGBTQ sort of book. And I think I'm still kind of in the romance mood. I think this is also the shortest of the two because this back section is a preview of F.T. Lucan's other books, which I do want to read and look at. Yeah, this one's under 310 pages. So I think this is what I'm going to start. And and I think it just started raining. It did. So I'm gonna put my flowers out to get some rainwater, make a cup of tea because now it's raining, and read a piratey book. How perfect. The weather told me read your romance and have a cup of tea and relax. So that's what I'm gonna do. I wanted to show you guys too. I forgot to show you yesterday. I got some stuff at this little like festival we have every year. You can hear Ruger coming. And I have been practicing my spiritualism a lot more recently. So I decided I wanted to get some crystals and incense. So I burned it yesterday. So I actually need to like clean this up. A cinnamon incense to just cleanse the apartment. And this is a little holder I got. It's a little resin tray with the moon phases on it. I just really liked the colors. And then I got my selenite wand, which I cleansed. It also smells so good over here. This is a little amethyst piece. They called it an amethyst flower. I got that. This here is a black onyx. You can see it's super sparkly. It's a little tumble. And I've had this jade Buddha for a really long time. We actually have no idea where it came from. I think I must have got it when I went to China and just don't remember getting it. But I've kept them up here. And then I got this one, which I don't remember. I think this is a blue agate lace. I could be wrong though. I forgot to like take a picture of the label, but it spoke to me, so I picked it up. So I'm working on just kind of not building an altar because I don't, like, my ancestors don't reside here, so I don't have an altar. But just working with crystals, doing some different practices, and doing my witchcraft and stuff. So yeah, this is what I have been working on. Hi. So yeah, you read the day right. It's Sunday, and I haven't read anything since my first video of the week, or my first section. Yeah, a couple things happened. One, I lost my job, so that kind of put me in a space where I was like, I didn't want to read. I just started making other content and getting other things in line to make a living because gotta have money to pay the bills. So yeah, that's why I kind of didn't read. Today I have time. I'm gonna read. Yesterday I just spent the day cleaning and kind of catching up on things around the house that I had let slip because I was getting burnout from work. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I have other things lined up. Like, it's not a dire situation. I don't want to stress about it. But what I did want to talk about is the Booktok drama that's going on. Let me get my tripod. Hold on. Okay, now we can talk properly. So if you guys have missed it, hi Bubs. My dog is getting in frame because he wants to say hello. Hello. So if you guys aren't on Booktok, or maybe not on this particular side of Booktok, there's a creator on there who has a very big following, over 2 million followers, who actually started as talking about country singers and how attractive they were, and basically just voicing some of the things she wanted to do to them. I don't know. Some of it was a little vulgar, but nothing we're not going into graphic detail here, right? So, then people were like, you need to look at baseball players. So she commented on Gabe Kepler, who's the manager of the Washington, Jesus, San Francisco Giants. He's the manager. And you know, a lot of people have said that he's a very attractive man, as my dog knocks my camera to show my Yankee stuff. You know, whatever. And people on social media had made comments about him, kind of like thirsting, lusting, whatever you want to call it, after him. And so it kind of bled into, like, she started reading romance and then started reading hockey romance and started talking about the Seattle Krakens in particular. And I think it started because an author, there's actually been a few authors who have said, I use the players on the Seattle Krakens as my inspiration for my books. Like, they're my male love interests. So people kind of attributed what this author was writing about these people to, like, their real lives. And, you know, I think if you're on Booktok, you saw a lot of the teams have been doing the thirst traps and kind of playing into the Booktok stuff, and especially the Krakens kind of leaned into it after it started getting attention. And this creator got flown out there to one of the games and everything like that, and the team seemed okay with what she was doing. I mean, she had signs that had some of the stuff that she had said on her videos about the players on them. Nothing like vulgar, but like the crack my back thing was on there. And obviously not everyone would understand that that reference is sexual. But, you know, the team was aware. The team was aware of what context she was using it in. And now one of the wives of the players has spoke out and said, I'm not cool with this. I'm not cool with what has been posted. And before, I guess, apparently, or I should say allegedly, she played into it. She was cool with it. She was posting stuff, calling him, like, TikTok's daddy, or Booktok's daddy, just different things like that. And so now, since all this has occurred, the creator is, like, encouraging her fans to go attack the wife and all these things. And there's this big discourse right now, right? So I'm putting in my 2 cents. There is a weird, I don't want, like, parasocial relationship, I guess, between sports fans and athletes, or, you know, like, stan culture, whatever. And, you know, I'm someone, I was in the boy band fangirl era, like, whatever, celebrity crushes, all that stuff. I don't think I've ever commented on someone's social media in a way that was, like, derogatory and, like, harassment, like, could be, like, brought up and be like, this is sexual harassment. And that can't be said for a lot of Booktok people. And I think because the team kind of was making these videos, it seemed like, oh, well, they're in on the joke, or they're in on the whole vibe, whatever you want to call it. But the wife said, I'm not cool with it. And people are upset that she's kind of recanting and saying, hey, I'm not cool with it anymore. I think she's fully entitled to that. I mean, that is her husband. She does have children. The team did unfollow the creator that they sent to the game and had other things set up for her. Like, allegedly they were supposed to send her and her book club out to Seattle to a home game, like, in the fall. And now there's been no contact about what's happening with that. And I think, yes, some of it could have been handled privately, saying, like, hey, can you take down your videos or whatever. But that wouldn't have stopped people from commenting things. So making kind of a blanket statement and saying, this is, like, I'm not cool with it across from anybody, I think was her trying to cover her bases. And now the player has spoken out and said he's really not cool with it, that he finds it harassing. And to me, that means it should all just stop. As soon as the wife spoke up, it should have stopped. And the team probably should have, like, I've worked in sports, and I think the team probably should have considered what could happen if they posted this stuff, that they were opening the door for more people to flood in and say these things, and kind of make it seem like they're okay with it, they're in on the joke. There's a weird entitlement, like I said, where people see athletes and celebrities as almost like fictional characters. Like, we can say things about fictional characters, they're not real. But when you attribute, I think some of the blame has to go on the authors who have said these are the people that I use for my inspiration, because it does open the door for these kind of things where they're like, oh, so that's what he's really like. Some people believe, oh, that must be what he's really like, where these authors have probably never spoken to these players in their lives. Basically, I think the wife is obviously well within her rights to say, I'm not cool with this, I don't like it, I don't want these comments being made toward my husband at games, in his DMs, in his comments on her own Instagram, in pictures that he's in. I think the career is, like, yes, I understand she's upset, but sending people to bully this woman is not okay. It's super uncalled for, and I think anybody who sends anybody to go attack people on social media, to me, that's just such a misuse of what you've built, especially when you have, you know, millions of followers. Some race things have been brought into it. I'm not going to talk about those because it's not my place. But yeah, I think as soon as consent is taken away, you have to stop. As soon as a player says, I'm not cool with this, please stop doing this, you have to stop. Like, and I understand making the public statement seems weird, like, oh, it could have been handled privately, but it's because now there's thousands of people making these videos, making these statements, even if it's just to try and gain the same clout that other creators have. So I feel for the wife. I definitely think it's a weird position, and a lot of people kind of are taking this stance of like, well, your husband's a public figure, this is what you have to deal with. Like, no, you shouldn't have to deal with this at all. It's, I guess you just assume people will respect your marriage. And you know, some people will, some people won't. People are always going to make comments. The comments aren't going to stop with the video stopping, but it's just, it's very interesting to see this making a crossover where I've always kind of thought it's weird that, you know, some people actively go after athletes or celebrities or whatever, knowing they're married, and kind of being like, oh, it's cool, like, she doesn't have to know, or she can know, we have an arrangement. Like, you know, it's, I don't think anybody is sitting on the spectator side of things, right? Should use their platform to, like, harass somebody in any way. And I'm hoping that the creator kind of, once this is all settled down, and I understand she's very upset and everything, I totally get it, that she takes away from it and kind of sees like, okay, if I was in the wife's position, would I be okay with this? And if you are, cool. But I don't think it's okay to go online and say, well, she must be insecure, he must be looking at other people, he must, like, he's answering these DMs. Like, but, like, we don't know that, and to speculate, that's not okay either. So I think it's interesting that this is happening, for sure. But I think to put all the blame on one creator is not productive, but to attack people is not productive either. So that all being said, I am actually getting ready to leave the house here soon. So I'm not going to read right now, but I am going to read tonight. And after I do that, I will update you guys. Hi, hello. So since the filming of that last segment where I was talking about the Booktok drama, a lot of stuff has come out, and there's been, like, so much more has piled on to it. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that because it goes into some of what I was saying. So there is an author who has spoken out, and I guess some people are not very happy with her perspective on the situation. And I kind of agree. Now, I watched her first 10-minute video where she basically said that hockey teams and other hockey players have contacted her, and they're really happy with the books, and they're kind of, I guess, in on the joke, and they're okay with it. But she completely denounced the creator who was this all started with. And come to find out, allegedly, she has actually paid that creator to promote her book in the way that she was called out for. So that was part of it. Also, apparently, there is some FTC guidelines that were being violated because the creator was talking about these books for pay, like they were sponsored videos, and it was never disclosed. And you have to do that on social media now. The FTC has made that very clear. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you have to put sponsored, you have to put ad. So there, it's now beyond drama and more like a legal situation. But the author has continued. She's made like 3 videos that I know of. I have not watched the other 2. I know in the last one she was crying and the comments were turned off. So, I'm assuming it's kind of an apology slash, I don't know. She thanked everybody. Like, I saw a snippet and she was like, thank you people for the support. And I just kind of was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I think we're to a point that I agree with a lot of creators who are like, I'm not going to support people who act like this, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that in general. But yeah, I think we're to a point where now Booktok has got this very bad reputation, and some people are like, I'm not on that side of Booktok. I never see the stuff. Like, great, you're not a romance reader. Don't care. But it's all over everything now. A lot of people have weighed in. I'm not making TikToks about it. I'm just talking about it here because it happened when I was filming this vlog. But, it seems like things are still developing. And someone said that the Kraken has... Now, I heard this from someone else, so this is like alleged speculation, whatever. The Kraken has fired part of or their entire social media team and is starting from scratch to kind of avoid this whole thing, because their slow-mo videos, their thirst traps, their whatever, fostered this environment and helped it grow, even though it was on a much different level than the other things. Also, I guess part of the situation why it got worse is because there were other fans coming to games who were not invited by the team, who have no social media presence. Not that excuses the behavior. But were coming to the games with signs, yelling comments, harassing players, using things from these different books to try and harass these players. So it's gotten so out of hand that the team was like, we cannot have a family-friendly environment with these people here any longer. So they're separating themselves from it and changing things. So I wanted to throw that in here before the last part of the vlog, just so you guys had a bit more of an updated take on the whole thing. I still think it's dumb. I can't believe we got to this point where this became such a big thing. Like, just have the common decency or social awareness to not sexually harass athletes, especially when they are working. Like, them being at that game is their job. It is the same as if someone walked into an Ulta and started harassing people who work there. So I'm going to get a snack, and I'm officially declaring this pirate reading vlog a fail and dead. I ended up DNFing Fable and In Deeper Waters, not because I don't like them, they're just not my vibe right now. I'm not feeling any kind of type of way about them. They're not intriguing me. So, failure of this vlog, not failure of the project. I'll get back to those books someday. But I think I am just going to launch into the next week's reading vlog of All One Thing and maybe do like a historical romance, because I haven't done those in a while. But yeah, this was a fail, so I do not always read everything on my TBR. you don't have to either. The world will not end. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.